Plaintiff Gail Wilkerson says she never met the defendant until she came to Gail's apartment complex to repossess Gail's car. Gail claims the defendant jumped in her car and pepper sprayed her, so she's suing. Defendant Madison Ainsworth says when she went to repossess Gail's car, Gail started beating her with an umbrella. Madison claims she pepper sprayed Gail in self-defense, and then Gail's son threatened to shoot her, so she's countersuing for emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, I don't know this woman, Your Honor. I was on my way to my doctor's appointment, and in my home, there she was. She had trespassed and invaded the privacy of my dwelling.
You say she had invaded your dwelling. Did she come in the door?
She was in the garage.
Okay.
She was just standing there up against a neighbor's. This is an apartment building with an underground garage. She had a look on her face like she was going to engage me, and I was in a hurry. And she asked me if my name was Lucille. I unlocked my car. Next thing I know, she was running towards my car, and she jumped in. I said, boy, new type of crackhead.
New style crackhead.
Yeah. I thought she was after my handicap plaque because I had lost 2 already.
Crackhead still handicap signs now?
Yeah. Sell them,
First you thought she was on crack, now you think she was after your handicap, but maybe they do sell them. That's a good point.
Surprise. Yeah. They sell anything. I asked her to get out the car, and I said, maybe she wants a handicap. So I reached in, she grabbed it, and I got my purse, and to release I swung it around, and I hit her, and I think the chains got her. Just like that, she maced me.
Wow.
Have you ever been maced before? It's a terrible feeling. And I dropped everything on the ground. And
at that time, what did you think was going on?
Yeah. I didn't know what was going on.
Okay, because you said you didn't know whether it was some type of crackhead. Okay.
And I turned to walk away, and she hollered out, "Call 911." I had to fight getting back to the son being there. I found out later it was her son. And he says, "I bet you'll never do that again." And I looked at him, I said, "Okay, you just stand there. I have somebody for you." And I kept walking. I was walking up the hill up the driveway, and he hollers, "Get her keys." And I had my keys along with my bag, like this, on my shoulder. And she ran up behind me and pushed me down, yanked this off, and she says, "If you had been nicer to me, I would have let you clean out your car, and you would have got your stuff." And I went straight to the apartment, and I started washing. Nothing would wash it off. I got into the shower, put my whole head in there. I had pictures of when they took me to the hospital. But this woman called the police to get her story in. The police came up with their hands on their gun, saying that I had beat an officer of the court with an umbrella.
You came to your apartment?
The door was open, and they came straight in.
The door was open to your apartment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had left it open. I mean, I didn't waste any time.
Right,
I got
it.
And I just went in and tried to wash it off. Mm-hmm. And I said, "What are you talking about, police officer?" And he said, "Well, didn't you see her utility belt?" I said, "No, I didn't know. I didn't know who she was and why she was there." He called the ambulance, and they came and took me away.
Can you have your police report?
I have a transcript of the 911. They wouldn't give me a police report.
The ones that barged in on you with their guns drawn wouldn't give you any indication that they came to speak with you?
I finally got an incident report when I found out one of the officers was feeding her
ma'am, let me hear from
information.
you.
Your Honor, I've been doing repossessions for about 15 years, and I've had my share of beatings and verbal altercations with debtors who feel they're entitled to keep something and drive it when they're not making payments for it. I had Mrs. Wilkinson's assignment for about 2 months. We could never locate the vehicle. They contacted me up and said that they had gotten a tip and they wanted me to go check it out. California law states that if a gate is open, I can enter the premises.
Unless you breach the peace. I know
Unless
the
I
law
breach
too.
the-
Breach
yes,
the peace
yes.
is the exception.
Exactly.
All right, so we're going to hear whether you
Yeah.
breached the peace.
So
While
then
you teaching me the law, don't forget to teach that part.
Yeah. So then I stopped because my truck would not fit underneath the garage. There was not enough height. I got out and I noticed the Kia Soul parked against the wall. So I walked up to it. It was just me in the garage. I walked up to it and I looked and I saw that the plate on the car did not match the plate on my paperwork. It said Lucille on the car. And I then took the paperwork and I looked at the VIN and I verified that the VIN did match my paperwork. When I turned around, Miss Wilkinson was standing right to my right and startled me. And I said, "Are you Lucille?" Because I had gotten confused. And she said, "No, I'm not. Get the way from my car." And
I don't curse, okay?
Quiet, ma'am.
She grabbed she had an umbrella and a purse in her hand, and she started beating me with the umbrella. And I told her, I said, "Your car is being repossessed. Stop hitting me." And she just continued beating me with this umbrella. This is how I got the bruises to my face.
From your husband beating you.
You say from a husband beating her. Ma'am, please, stop that.
I was positioned between the car and her. I heard the alarm go off. I opened the door and I got in the car. And she blocked me from getting the door closed, and she continued beating me with the purse and umbrella. And so I said to her, I had warned her 3 times, "If you do not stop beating me, I'm going to spray you." And she just, at one point, she stabbed me with the umbrella on the corner of my eye. And that's when I took the mace and I sprayed her with it. She turned around and she had her hands over her eyes and she started walking away. My son, who came out to meet me there, heard the commotion, so he came running into the garage. And as he passed her, she dropped her keys. He scooped up the keys, brought me the keys. I started the car and I drove it out and put it on the back of my tow truck.
What was she doing while you were
She was nowhere. I had not seen her. There was just me and him out there, and I was getting the car back on the truck. When
He was watching you getting...
Yeah, he was standing in the driveway watching me.
While you were getting beaten?
No, he saw, I don't know what he saw. I just saw him as he passed her.
You said no.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you don't know whether he saw you
me,
being
no.
beaten
I saw him
or
pass
not.
her halfway.
You don't know whether he saw you being beaten?
No.
All right.
I saw that Mrs. Wilkinson's son came out and he started screaming, "I have a gun, I'm gonna shoot you." And at that point, I grabbed my phone and I dialed 911. And he's like, and he started with all kinds of racial slurs, calling me a crackhead, white trash, KKK Klan member, and just going off on me. She then came out. I don't know where the showering came out. She must be a very, very fast shower because she was still in the same clothing. Came out. You could see she had washed her face and she had the purse and she started beating the window of the car. And I was still sitting in the car at this point.
Got me mixed up with somebody else.
The police pulled up. I showed him the repo order. I showed him my repo license. And he turned to Mrs. Wilkinson and he asked her, he said, "You're aware your car is getting repossessed. Why are you beating the repo agent up?" And she's like, "I'm a world-renowned chef. I'm well known." And I thought she was a stalker because I have people stalking me all the time. And I'm sarcastic and turned to the officer and said, "She's so world-renowned. She got evicted 6 months ago from the restaurant she cannot pay rent on."
How did you know it?
Because the finance company give me their work information, and we went there, and the place was closed down, and the landlord told me we evicted her for no payment. Right. So anyway, then they separate us. She asked that I get arrested for assault and battery and theft and trespassing. The officer told her that they were not going to arrest me because I was doing my job. I have all the legal documentations. They came to me and asked me if I wanted her arrested for assault and battery, and I decided at that point I did not want to do it. She's 20 years my senior, but so the officer asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, "I want to leave. I've spent enough time here." So we left. I took the vehicle and took it straight to auction, checked it in.
Okay. Question is, is it law or policy and your understanding that you can get inside the car and grab the keys? I thought you could only repossess by towing.
No, right. The California law states that a repossession is considered a standing repossession if I've entered the vehicle or have a tow truck attached to the vehicle. So I can be in the vehicle with a key. I don't have to have a tow truck attached to it.
And if you don't have a key, you can
I had
get
a
in
key
the
for her
vehicle?
vehicle.
And if you don't, does the law allow you to go in?
Yes, it's still repossessed. So I can enter the vehicle with braking tools. I am trained to do that.
And then you're allowed to do what?
If the debtor comes out, tell the debtor your car is being repossessed. Now, it's a 50-50 chance the debtor is going to give you the key and say, can I get my property? Or no, you're not getting it, then you have to step out of the vehicle and it's not a repossession. So we don't do that because
That's what she said she did, didn't you? Is that what you said you did? Told her to get away from the car and you didn't?
Get out.
Ma'am, I'm going to conclude you breached the peace. And that's the exception. Remember, we know the law. You breached the peace in your actions. I believe that, and therefore I'm going to grant her $5,000 and dismiss yours. Have a good day.
You are perfect your business practices. I've been in business for over 40 years. Okay, I'm a real estate broker. Aside from being what you call a world-renowned chef, I never proclaim that. But you need to perfect it and stop doing what you're doing. The tow truck business is not for you. You've already had your licenses taken away. You're using other people's names. I don't even believe your name is Madison.
How about next time you pay your car payment? And
Don't you bless
My license has never been taken away. I don't use other people's names. And secondly, are a rude human being. That's all you are. Who didn't pay your car note for 4 months.
Who drives a tow truck without licenses?
I
went to the highway patrol.
It was licensed.
They looking for you.
Really?
I called the Department of Transportation.
They can come and get me. They know where I'm at.
What about your DUI, dear?